The learning paper of Year 3 Office Practice in English. Client services and communication. Clients' personalities. The different types. We have the expert, the overly agreeable client, the pessimist, the complainer, and the staller. The traits of each client's personality. The expert is a know-it-all. They're very intelligent, they're condescending, competitive, and likes research. The overly agreeable client is positive, friendly, avoid conflict, takes the blame, and is hesitant. The pessimist is a negative client, difficult to keep happy. They're intelligent, outspoken, and doubtful. The complainer is a negative, difficult, vocal, blameless, and hate excuses. The staller is indecisive, careful, need help, and is a people pleaser. The solutions to each client's personality. How to handle each client in a work environment. This is very, very important. The expert. Let the expert tell you about your business. Don't take it personally. Ask them questions, use clear statements, give the person options. Overly agreeable client. Use investigative questions if the customer answers yes. Reassure him or her that you will be pleased with his or her feedback. For every positive, the pessimist will find a negative. So this is now the pessimist. Stay positive and lead the person to the good of the conversation. Then we go to the complainer. Look past the frustrated complaint and pay attention to what is being said. Take notes. Let the person say what he wants to say. Repeat what you think is being said. The staller. Look at customers' needs and provide real solution. Give them all the facts about the product. Don't put pressure on their decision. Now we're going to focus on body language. So what is body language? Body language refers to non-verbal signals that we use to communicate. These non-verbal signals make up a huge part of daily communication. From our facial expressions to our body movements, the things we don't say can still convey volumes of information. Body language may account for between 50% to 70% of all communication. Understanding body language is important, but it's also essential to pay attention to other cues, such as context. In many cases, you could look at signals as a group rather than focusing on a single action. Now we go to facial expressions. A smile can indicate approval or happiness. A frown, on the other hand, can signal disapproval or unhappiness. In some cases, our facial expressions may reveal our true feelings about a particular situation. While we say that we are feeling fine, the look on our face may tell people otherwise. A few examples of emotions that can be expressed via facial expressions include happiness, sadness, angry, surprise, disgust, fear, confused, excitement, and desire. The expression on a person's face can even help determine if we trust or believe what the individual is saying. The most trustworthy facial expressions involves a slight raise of the eyebrow and a slight smile. This expression conveys both friendliness and confidence. Facial expressions are also among the most universal forms of body language. The expressions used to convey fear, anger, sadness, and happiness are similar throughout the world. This is a nice picture to show you how a person will look happy according to their eyes, angry, sad, laughing, conspiring, or crying. When evaluating body language, pay attention to the following eye signals. We have eye gaze, blinking, and pupil size. So eye gaze is when a person looks directly into your eyes while having a conversation. It indicates that they are interested and paying attention. However, prolonged eye contact can feel threatening. On the other hand, breaking eye contact and frequently looking away might indicate that the person is distracted, uncomfortable, or trying to conceal his or her real feelings. Blinking. Blinking is natural, but you should also pay attention to whether a person is blinking too much or too little. People often blink too rapidly when they are feeling distressed or uncomfortable. Infrequent blinking may indicate that a person is intentionally trying to control his or her eye movements. For example, a poker player might blink less frequently because he is purposely trying to appear unexcited about the hand he was dealt. Pupil size. Pupil size can be very subtle signal. While light levels in the environment control pupil dilation, non-verbal communication and emotions can also cause small changes in pupil size. For example, you may have heard the phrase bedroom eyes used to describe the look someone gives when they are attracted to another person. Highly dilated eyes, for example, can indicate that the person is interested or even aroused. Respect for personal space. Here we go on. There are several suggestions for respecting other people's boundaries. Focus on respect. Remember that everyone has thoughts, feelings, plans, dreams, and hopes. Everyone wants to be heard and accepted as they are. Listen fully. Listen to another person with the goal of truly understanding them. Completely wait until the other person is finished speaking. Take a breath, pause, and then respond. You'll be making space for the other person to express him or herself and get out of the habit of reactivity. So listen for verbal cues. Some verbal cues may be obvious, such as another person saying, I'm uncomfortable sitting so close to you, or I've asked you before to knock before you come into my house. Others may be subtle, such as changing the subject in the midst of a conversation to something less emotionally vulnerable. Pay attention to body language. Body language often speaks louder than words. If someone has their arms folded while they're talking to you, they might not be open to what you are saying. If someone is stepping back every few minutes, you might be standing too close and invading their personal space. Now, each person is different, so they will have different boundaries. You can respect these different boundaries by listening fully and paying attention to verbal and non-verbal cues. Okay, guys, good luck. Study hard. I know you can do it.